Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Alrighty, welcome to episode 36 of the Go Get That podcast. Got to start by congratulating Scottie Scheffler on winning the 2022 Masters in pretty commanding fashion. He took the lead over on Friday afternoon and he never relinquished it. And we're recording this Sunday night. He made today look pretty darn easy, shooting an under par score and winning by 3 shots, even though it was basically about 5 shots. He just 4-putted the 18th green, but just a really commanding victory for the number 1 player in the world. And just a really disappointing week for us as Spieth fans with the miscut. But
yeah, funny instance on that 18th green. I've never really seen anything like that. In my years of watching golf, it just sort of like it was ironic because like that was really the only sign of like him being human all week. Because he was just playing so darn well. It was just like I didn't expect it at all. He just missed the second putt. I was like, what's happening, right? It was overall, I think this is sort of like the 3rd straight year of like having a Masters. It's kind of just like, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't exciting. Like there were plenty of exciting moments today. I think the Rory charge was pretty cool. It's just like such an incredible atmosphere to have someone leading by 5 shots. Like we all knew once Scottie got past 12, that tournament was over. And like, there was still like, you had to like keep your eyes on the screen, right? Like, that's what the Masters brings. And it's great every year.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty good Sunday, considering the lead was pretty large for most of it. Even though Cam Smith did cut it to 1 after 2 holes, but then it instantly got back to 3 after the 3rd hole. I mean, what a chip in that was on 3 by Scottie. Probably a little lucky, but that's, kind of how it goes when you're playing well. I feel like,
that'll go down as that shot of his win.
Right.
For sure.
That kind of definitely settled him into the round. And then after that, he just played really solid, picked his spots. 10 was not a good iron shot, missed it left. But then 11 and 12 were some big par putts to kind of keep the momentum. And then especially after Smith put it in the water on 12 and made triple, at that point, it's just hit fairways and greens. And if you need to punch out and, hit a wedge on the green and give yourself a putt at it. But I mean, Scottie's this is now 4 wins in 6 weeks. And this rivals some of the best golf seasons ever.
So far, easily.
So far, right? I mean, there's still so much. Like, if he didn't win the rest of the year, it's an unreal season. But considering that we're, this is a 2-month stretch of winning 4 times, this is like Tiger-esque stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Four big time events too. I mean, every single event's been big that he's won, which is even more crazy.
Right. I think like OWGR wise was the worst Bay Hill.
I haven't pulled up, so no, Phoenix was 2 points worse.
Okay.
So, very close.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I thought Phoenix would have had, but maybe not. Huh. Anyway, but
it's kind of shocking the more I think about it. But
a WGC, a major, and then 2 of the premier tour events, including Waste Management and Bay Hill. And Bay Hill was, I guess, he won by 1 in the first 2. Obviously, the playoff at Waste Management, and then Bay Hill, he kind of held Hovland off down the stretch. But these last 2, he's just been far and away better than everybody. And it was cool to see the Masters leaderboard the way it was on Sunday with Cam Smith and Scottie on top, because those have been the best 2 guys in 2022. They have 6 wins now since January, which is unreal between the 2 of them. Scottie's obviously got 4, but Cam's got the players and the season opener in Hawaii, holding off Rahm. So both of them have been playing the best golf, and they were both up there on the final day at the best golf tournament. So I think it was a pretty fitting kind of cap to the first quarter of the season, given who's been playing the best golf.
Yeah, Bob mentioned this before we got on the air. How Scottie has won at like 4 completely different types of golf courses. And that's something I think that is just really impressive to win at a place like Bay Hill, where it's a survive type of place, a place like Phoenix where he had to go low, a match play, and now a major. It's just a really unprecedented event, unprecedented occurrence for Scottie. And I mean, as Spieth fans, it really begs the question: do we have someone that's competing with us for best season in a while? Because Jordan's 2015 is obviously the goal right now. I think that Scottie's chasing, but I think Scottie can probably attain it at this rate.
Well, yeah, he's certainly got a large lead in the FedEx Cup. So, East Lake could be within his sights, but that's a long ways away. I am curious to see where he tees it up next, right? Like, you've just won the WGC to become number 1 in the world, and now you've destroyed everybody at Augusta to, maintain that number 1 position probably for a couple weeks at least, probably a month, unless somebody like Rahm or Morikawa or Hovland wins a couple times in these next couple weeks. But like, when's he gonna, like, I'm excited to see when Scottie plays next, because I want to see if he can like keep winning, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, dude's won 4 times in 6 weeks, and how much longer can he keep it going?
He's playing Zurich, right?
I don't know.
I think like he is. I feel like he is. I don't remember who he's
Yeah,
playing
I
with
feel like
now.
he's playing with Palmer.
I
Maybe.
think you're right. Let me look.
I know he
Yeah,
played,
I think he is.
That's true. Okay, so Zurich's in.
Which will be good for him, I think. I think that's actually best case scenario, because that's not a very high stress event, right? Like, it counts as a PGA Tour win, but it's going to be a lot less. It can be kind of like a step down before ramping it back up again, instead of just taking 3 weeks off.
I'd imagine he'd play the Byron Nelson, even though he's not an AT&T, like, he's not forced to be there like Spieth is because of the AT&T stuff. But that seems, home state of Texas. He's probably played Craig Ranch before. Maybe grab another major there before getting ready for Southern Hills the week after. But yeah, like, genuinely excited to see where Scottie plays next and see if he can keep winning, and if not, kind of where the game ends up, because this is what Rahm was kind of doing last year, and he unfortunately got COVID at the Memorial. He did win the U.S. Open, but like, Scottie's like turning it. Scottie's done it for a month longer, and he's actually turned it into wins, which Rahm didn't do, except for the one major. And now there's a new clear-cut number 1 in the world, and it seems like he's going to be up there for quite a while.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that actually, about how people are comparing it to like DJ and 2020, like when he won the Masters, like around that time, and like Rahm last year. I don't think you can compare it to anything, because I think I don't think we've truly appreciated how dominant this has been, just because Scottie is such a new world number 1, that we aren't feeling as scared as we would if Jon Rahm had done the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
because here's my reasoning. I mean, simply put, we have not seen anything like this since Spieth in 2015. Nothing like 4 wins in 6 weeks. Like, we just haven't.
This doesn't.
No dominance like nothing. No dominance we've seen in the last 6 years, 7 years has been what we're seeing right now.
This doesn't compare to Spieth though either. I don't think. Like, this is like
on a short term, it does.
No,
his dominance over a year compares to his dominance.
I disagree with that.
I don't know how you can.
But let me kind of explain.
Give Dan a chance, Bob. Give him a chance.
Let me kind of explain what I'm, because we might be saying the same thing, but the way
Okay.
Like the way Scottie is playing in these past 6 events, is the only thing you can compare it to is Tiger. 4 wins. And maybe the stats don't necessarily add up to that, but nobody's won 4 times in 6 weeks since Tiger.
Yeah.
Very true.
Spieth had a dominant season, but he won 5 times over the course of a year.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
And
more
so
talking
this-
about dominance as a general sense and comparing a short term versus a long term.
Right.
I
Okay.
have a
So I agree. This is Spieth-esque, but in a shorter term. And I
That's
agree
what
with
I'm
that.
saying.
See,
yeah.
my question for you, Bob, is dominance just winning, or is it?
I mean that's the sport, right? This
All
is
right, that's fair. That's fair.
So here's my take. I mean, I think it's very simple to judge success in golf and tennis because they're individual sports. This isn't the MLB. This isn't the NFL. Like individual dominance is based on wins. Like if you can't finish, like, I mean, yeah, you're playing great, but like you're just Xander Schauffele, right? Like that's like, I mean, that's kind of like,
that's mean.
but like that's kind of like what it is. That's not a knock on him. I'm sure Xander Schauffele is a very good golfer, and he will find it eventually. Like you'd be dumb not to think that, because but like winning 4 times. I mean, think about when's Jordan Spieth's 4th most recent win? It's like Pebble.
Yeah.
That's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When's John Rahm's 4th most recent win? Not in the last 2 years. U.S. Open, even count Memorial, U.S. Open, Memorial.
Well, I mean, I just don't know Rahm's.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with like Dan though. This is like Tiger.
Yeah.
We're not comparing him to Tiger, but this is something Tiger would do that no one else has done.
Yeah, but it will be interesting also to see how it stretches out.
Correct. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people get very hot, and this could be one of those instances where Scottie is having a DJ and Rahm type stretch where Scottie is just better at finishing. Like that could be what this is. I don't think that's what this is. I mean, he's been so, I don't even know what, like if you, yesterday when he was what was he? Yesterday he was 8 under and the lead was 3 under. I mean, was there any, like, I had no doubt in my mind that he was winning that golf tournament. Like I just did not I couldn't physically wrap my mind around him.
I mean, we said the
that
same
tournament.
about Spieth in 16. So
We did, but at that time, Spieth in 2016 was the best player in the world.
yeah, well, so is Scotty.
But Spieth,
Yeah.
Spieth hadn't won 3 of his last 5 going into the
No,
Masters.
yeah.
No,
This was like,
But I don't know what to compare this to because it's just so, you just don't see players win that much on this tour. It's just too talented. There's too many people trying to win as well with as much or more talent as you.
right.
I just think it's so unprecedented that he's been able to win literally 67% of his last 6 tournaments. That is ridiculous.
I think you just got to revisit it at the end of the season because if
I agree with
if he
that.
doesn't win again, I mean, you just look at 4 wins over the whole season, not in 6 weeks.
Right.
It doesn't make it any more special if you get what I'm saying. But at this rate, he's definitely going to win more than 4 times. And as Dan said, it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I think in the modern era, like the post Tiger winning 14 majors era, because golf is so deep, you only see these like 2 to 3 year runs from guys. Like think about Rory in the early 2010s, Spieth in the middle, Koepka down the stretch, Rahm, DJ, and now Scheffler. Like guys make careers off of 2 or 3 really good years. And it's the ones who can kind of pick out some wins in those years that are following that build these historic resumes. And I think Scottie is in the midst of that. Like, this is my career year.
Yeah.
Like he's in the middle of that right now. And maybe it just ended. And maybe Maybe it's just getting started. Maybe he's got 1 win left this season. Maybe he's got 3. But the fact that like it's been fun to see the ascension from, God, is he ever gonna win? Because it seemed like he couldn't get it done, even though he was always
Yeah,
there.
because he's
Now it's
been
like,
there.
is he ever
Yeah.
gonna lose? Right? It's like,
Yeah.
he's playing unreal.
Yeah, I have a point I want to bring up that I was talking to one of my friends today, is that if you give Scottie a major, the PGA US Open or Open this year, I mean, he basically would have a Hall of Fame career in 7 months.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous to think about. He could never win again. And I mean, 2 majors, 5 wins.
Yeah.
Get you in, yeah.
That gets you in.
I mean, that was Spieth's 2015. It was like, all right, this guy's a Hall of Famer at the age of 21.
Go back 8 months. So say he wins the Open, go back 8 months. He'd never done it. He'd never done a thing. And then you're all of a sudden just a Hall of Famer. That's like crazy. Like that just shows the path that he's on right now.
Yeah. I mean, go back, not even 8 months, go back 3 months.
Yeah.
Right.
I meant 8 months from the Open. Like if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Because I guess
I don't think he has a Hall of Fame career right now. But
yeah, I mean, he's on a very good path to do so. Yeah. I mean,
He's on a heater.
He is on a big time heater, and he's also turning it into wins. Like he's playing the best golf of his life, and he's also winning, which is like something that I'd say maybe 5 dudes have done in the past 10 years, maybe 6. Because like Jason Day won like 8 times in 16 months or something ridiculous like that. But it gets kind of forgotten because Spieth was just
get a lot of health issues though.
Yeah, but now Jason Day is unfortunately not even close to the player that he was 6 years ago.
Which is unfortunate because I don't necessarily blame that all on him. He's had a very unfortunate situation.
Well, yeah,
which is not the case. Like some people, their injuries are on themselves. Like if you want to swing super hard, like Bryson, like that hand injury is on you, right? Like I'm a Bryson fan, but like that hand injury is on you. And I'm sure he knows that. But like Jason Day, it's by no means his fault, which is unfortunate because he had the potential to be a superstar over his career.
Back is like the worst injury you can have in golf.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like
it's Tiger.
Right.
And like the and he had like equilibrium problems, like remember when he collapsed on at Chambers?
Yeah.
Like just like I forget what's
oh yeah. Vertigo.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Equilibrium.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. I just didn't know what the that's the problem is. You lose your equilibrium, but that's just like crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Do we want to get into Mr. Spieth now?
I mean,
can I just say props to Mr. Woods for making it 7?
Let's talk. We can talk about Tiger for. I mean, I think that performance was pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like in the end, the fatigue and pain just caught up with him, which is like, I mean, that was very predictable. Like he talked about like the long ice baths he had to go through, but props to him for, he talked about the fact that it's a lot, like to go through all that pain and all the ice baths just to play around of golf the next day. That's adversity that most people don't have the drive to do. Like they just don't. Like that's why Tiger Woods is just different. Which is just, it's a statement to him as a competitor, because he is one of the greatest competitors sports has ever seen. I mean, he's won a US Open on a broken leg, essentially. So props to him, because I mean, overall, he won't think that being the competitor he is, but the week is a huge success.
I mean, he said that. He said it was a huge success. I think he was asked after.
I'm
his
sure he's
round.
definitely
He
disappointed
was
with his
asked
score.
after his round today,
Yeah.
like, where does this rank among best performances in your career in weeks that you had not won? And he said it ranked very high. So I mean, good for Tiger. There's 3 more majors this year, and he's got the hardest walk out of the way. So that's definitely good for the leg.
And he committed to St. Andrews.
He did commit to St. Andrews, much easier walk, and he's won there. So,
Right. Do you think,
which is a tournament that he could. The only issue could be the weather. It's
Yeah.
cold.
it is
But
cold.
do you think he could play at Southern Hills?
I think he'll be there.
How likely do you think that is?
I think he will be
It's
there.
quite likely.
Okay.
He said he's going to work his way up for it, but like, I mean,
I would think so too. And especially being in Oklahoma in May, I'd imagine it'll be warm.
yeah.
Right? So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But man, he looked like stiff and sore and
At the end of the tournament, he
Yeah, it's
looked
just-
like he probably could not have played another day.
so I'll be
Like if this
curious
was
to
5
see-
rounds, I don't think he could have.
He said he has to work on his stamina, which
Right.
Yeah,
makes
I'll
sense.
be
Which makes
curious to
sense.
see how much of a difference 5 weeks makes. Both in terms of like his body, I guess most importantly in terms of his body, but then also his like feel. Because I feel like he putted not good at all. And a lot of that's just rust from not playing in tournament rounds. So it'll be interesting to see what he does at Southern Hills, because I think he's showing up there too.
I'd be shocked if he didn't. Yeah.
But does it, I feel like for me, it kind of gave me a like, not a like strong belief, but a little bit of like he could win again, because he's just not going to quit, you know?
I did get that sense from the fact that he hadn't played it was that shot. It was the shot on 6 that did it for me. That he hadn't played competitive golf in 17 months.
Yeah.
And he was 1 under through 6 at the Masters on Thursday morning. Like that's just something you don't see from people who haven't played in 18 months, right? Like that's just not comprehensible.
You'd be an absolute idiot to count the guy out from winning another tournament again. I
think that
he just needs time.
I really do think that his age and his health eliminates him from a lot of tournaments. Like I don't think he could win another US Open.
No.
I think the Masters might even be very tough for him just because of the walk in the future. But he could win another Open. And
I think he can win a Masters.
If he gets the right PGA. Because the PGAs are tending to get a little bit long now. If you know what I mean. I know Kiwo is very, very long, but
the thing that was funny, I don't know if you watched today, but he actually drove it really well.
Yeah.
So I just think he needs more time, and his leg obviously just doesn't have the stamina that he wishes that he had yet, which is very understandable.
Yeah.
Good luck there.
Bloody nose.
We've officially entered bloody nose season. My life, but it is not good. But I'm okay. Just whatever, dry nose, whatever.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
A tough, unfortunate timing, but if you're watching on YouTube, you get a little fashion statement, maybe. I don't know.
Well, if you want a good transition, one thing I definitely would not have predicted was Woods beating Spieth this week. That's not something I saw from a million years away, but it happens. So there's a lot to talk about. I think we've officially entered the territory that is, we are back to searching.
I disagree, but keep going.
I haven't. Yeah.
I mean, his putter is so far gone that it is as like it's something like the swing in 2019, 2018 that he's just not going to find in 1 week. It's going to take a lot. I really hope he can find it before the PGA, but if you expect him to win next week, you are most likely not going to be very pleased.
See that I'll disagree with about winning next week. Is playing the RBC Heritage, if you haven't heard. I just think if we go back to 2019, 2020, when he couldn't get off the tee, he's never been elite off the tee in his career, correct?
No.
He has been elite with the putter. And yes, I fully agree. He is very, very, very far gone within 8 feet of the hole putting. But I actually was pretty darn pleased with what I saw outside of 12 plus feet this week at Augusta. He made a 30-footer, 2015 vintage Spieth made a 30-footer Thursday and Friday. I was pleased with what I saw from outside 10 feet. And I think the stats would show that too. He putted well from up to outside 10 feet this week. He was just useless inside 6 feet.
Yeah, the speed was like top quality. Like everything from like 50 feet was rolling up to within side 4, but then at that point it was a coin flip on whether he was cleaning it up, which is an issue. And it's a very big issue because you're just bleeding strokes and you can get no momentum. But I think my kind of biggest takeaway was the irons weren't actually all that good this week. Like I can't name a like high quality iron shot. There were a couple that were like pretty solid, but nothing to within like I just felt like there wasn't any consistency with the irons. There were a couple good ones. He was actually really good off the tee, and I know the numbers, like the strokes gain numbers, won't support that because he shot himself in the foot on Thursday on 18. But he looked good there, and he's been picking up some distance, which is good, and he's still being accurate, which is also pretty good. Like there weren't, besides that one ball on 18, I can't think of one that was so loose that you're like, where like you're on a different hole, buddy. Like that's those, I didn't see any of those. But I think my main thing is course management is not that great right now. Like I think there's just moments where, and I think that stems from he's trying to force it because I think he feels better about where his game is at than what the results are showing. And so he's trying to like get those results instead of just letting them come because he knows, because I think I think he feels like he's hitting it fine. And the stats kind of back that up a little bit, but he knows that he's getting all like his best finish since Pebbles like a T35 or whatever. And that's just not going to cut it if you want to be where Jordan Spieth wants to be. And I also think he's forcing it on the putts inside of 8 feet. Like he's trying to like hit it into the hole instead of just make a stroke and have the ball get in the way and have it like end up in the hole. Especially from inside of 4 feet. It seems like he's just trying to like jam it down the hole's throat instead of like just hit a putt that the hole gets in the way. There's some stuff there. And I definitely, because it was Masters week, I'm sure he was trying to force it because obviously it means a lot. So hopefully a couple days off, kind of clear the head and go play a place that on paper is a wedge and putter fest, which should in theory fit him to a tee. So we'll see how RBC goes, but we'll talk about that more. But.
Yeah, the thing that really knocked me off guard is the fact that he didn't make anything. Like it wasn't like he was struggling to hit his 10-footers. Like he couldn't make a 3-footer to save his life, which is just like not something that we've ever seen from him at Augusta National. Like it just doesn't make sense. This is where I officially deemed it that the stroke is a big problem. Because if it was his reads, this week would not have been an issue. Like, I mean, he was decelerating like a 10 handicap. Like, I don't know. It's confidence.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something you see from him.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, he missed a 4-footer short.
On 16?
On 4.
4. Yeah.
4, 16.
He missed it short. He hit it 3 feet, 11 inches, and it was 4 feet, 2 inches.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
It's tough. Can I ask you a question now?
Yeah.
Would you say he's improving outside of 10 feet?
What do you mean
this
outside
is
10
a
feet? Do you mean
clear-
like 25 footers or do you mean like 12
I'm-
footers?
Well, he hasn't had a lot of 12 footers. It's been a lot of
Like I
thought
think
he's-
12 footers the same problem. I think 25 footers are.
I thought he scared the hole a few times this week.
I
mean,
think for 25 footers, it's just like
he definitely is, Bob. You can't deny that.
he's scaring the hole. I think
Which is-
stroke looks just as bad.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Okay.
Like I thought 9 on Friday was like, I thought it was big, and then it turned out to be nothing. But
Oh yeah. I know that's not an easy putt, but that's one that Spieth puts in the middle a lot more than his competitors do when he's putting it well.
I mean, I'm just thinking about how frustrating it is, though, given the fact that he makes that 5-footer on 8.
Oh yeah, he should have been like 1 or 2 under heading into the weekend.
Which
I mean,
would have
obviously,
been right
12
there.
was-
he could have had the
12
double and the triple and still made the cut.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me feel better that he was just never winning this week. Like no one was beating Scottie Scheffler this week. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna get to a point where he's gonna throw away majors because of this club.
Oh, he already has last year.
He has. I
threw
mean,
away
it's getting
2.
really frustrating
Maybe 3
because
last year.
this hasn't been an issue for him his entire life. His entire life, he's been Mr. Superman on the greens. Like
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, 18 was bad. But he
I don't see things getting better without a change.
I don't disagree, at least from short range.
I just think he's gonna need to change something. His
What kind
grip,
of change?
some sort of anything. I've had putting
But what is
master
what-
classes happen
but-
overnight just from changing like a finger on my grip. Like
but what
just
could it-
change something.
okay. So
Change
you
up
want a grip change or a putter change or
putter
a,
change. Try
I
claw
disagree
for
with
all
the
I
putter
care.
Change.
Like
Routine
I-
change. I'm with Bob from 4
Low
feet.
key-
It's
low
terrible to
key,
watch.
I wouldn't mind a claw from inside, like Morikawa does from inside of 10. He uses the claw. I wouldn't mind that.
I don't care what it is. I don't care if honestly right now, I would take 80-80 miscut next week if he at least tried something else.
All right, I think you're going overboard there.
Yeah,
But like
so,
at least he
sure.
starts doing something because eventually he'll
agree.
find it. He's too good to not
but
find
would
something.
you say that he hasn't done something? Because
I
I
would
would assuming that
100%.
he's like
100%.
not working on it.
I think he's stubborn and he's trying to work on it just by hitting more putts. That's what I think he's doing.
I agree with
It's just
Bob.
not helping.
I think I disagree with that. But that's
How?
okay.
How so?
What do you mean how?
How
I mean,
so?
he's literally on the greens with Cam working on the stroke.
But it's the same stroke. It's the same putter. It's
The-
the same
it's
grip.
the-
It's
the
the same
same-
forward press. It's
The same stroke that's won him 3 majors.
It's the same damn
But
result.
that
slightly,
change,
man.
that changes. That changes, Dan.
Okay,
Like, that's
I
the
think
thing.
I think then I disagree with your stroke assessment at the moment
That's fair. Stroke
Okay,
assessment.
what do you mean by that?
because I think he's from outside of 10 feet. I think the stroke looks good. From inside of 10 feet, I think it looks pretty poor, but I think it's a lack of commitment. And he's trying to force it in instead of just hit a good putt. So I agree that some sort of something needs to change there, but I think that's more of a mental change than a actual putting change.
But I think that
Because we've
at
talked about
this
changes
point
for so
in his
long.
career, and how do you fix that? You change something. Like you can't fix a mental change just by being all right. I'm going to be confident with this one. Like that doesn't happen. Like he
Or-
needs to see something. He needs to change something, see it work. That's how you gain confidence.
Yeah,
That's
That's
how
fair.
I
But
see confidence being
I just
shown.
okay, that's fair. I disagree.
He's not going to make a few putts on the putting green, walk out on the course, step over a birdie putt on the first hole that could get himself into the tournament, and all of a sudden have the same feeling over the ball as he did on the putting green.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I think the like putter change, the people who think that are frankly ridiculous.
It doesn't need to be a putter.
Yeah. No, I just
It's not like
I
the
just
putter
think
goes
that-
away forever. It's not like a pitcher where once you take it out, it can't come back.
Oh, but I don't know. I just don't
Changed
think
putters before. I mean, like,
yeah, for like a week.
I mean,
And then he putted
Maybe-
well
Yeah.
for a few years.
Maybe the putting needs a bench. I don't know.
I'd be
But I
fine with
just think-
that. He's got to be tired of it too. I mean, we're just fans. I mean, he looks like just
he's
so
more
accustomed to
frustrated than we
missing
are
the
by
4-footers.
100 times. It's just like, I think this is a good debate, Dan. If you really think that, I see where you're coming from. I just think that as a golfer, and I'm sure Jordan can attest to this, like, you have to tweak things to meet your current needs all the time in golf. Like, that's why Jordan's swing does not look like it did in 2015. That's why people's swings change over time. Like, it's not just the same swing your entire life that's going to work. Like, it's eventually going to not work because the body just can't replicate it perfectly the exact same every time over a long period.
That's fair. I think because I think he's like trying to make changes now that you just don't see. Like you're not gonna watch him. You have to like watch film of him hitting putts to see the changes that he's working on.
But I don't.
And the thing about big scale changes for me with him is that we saw what happened with the swing and we saw how many different things that he tried to do there. And it's like,
but when he made those changes, his swing was getting him to the best golfer in the world.
Like, well, I mean, he was making changes like when he was still sucking.
I'm thinking changes.
But when but like
from 2017 to 2018, 2018 to 2019, 2019 to 2020.
But like, he tried to gain distance off the tee.
I know.
In 2016 into 2017, he was still top 10 in the world at that point.
But that's not changing a putter or changing a grip. That's just changing.
But that contradicts what you were just saying about how you're comparing the two. Like, he didn't change. Like, you're contradicting yourself.
Okay, I guess. Okay, but name, what does he change then? That's the other thing is like.
He's changed his swing.
I just feel golf swings a lot more
with the putter. With the putter, what does he change?
When?
Right now, if you're suggesting a change, what should he change?
Anything. That's the thing. You have to just keep trying things until you find something that works. I don't know what's gonna work. But then you just gotta keep trying.
But I don't think he progresses then, though. If he just keeps flipping stuff around, he's not gonna have any confidence when it matters.
It doesn't need to be a long-term change, though.
No, but my point is like it's bad right now. But if you keep if you keep tweaking things, you're not going to have confidence when it matters.
See, I agree, Dan, but we cannot continue to keep pissing away majors. That's the thing.
But here's Dan. I think you're looking at it from the standpoint that you don't want Jordan to change because you think it will take time to get used to it and for it to work when we're already wasting that time right now doing what we're doing.
But also, like, I think he's making changes right now. And he's working on those changes constantly.
But what changes do you think he's making?
To be honest, I don't know because it's like I said, like you have to.
Are you saying like drills and stuff?
Maybe not drills, but I think he's making changes in terms of like something that he feels or something that, like, I don't think he's making those changes that we can see. And my point is that I think like he works really hard. So I think he knows the putter is like costing him so bad right now that he's got to be changing something. So
he's also very stubborn.
Right. But
it took him.
Would you say he's not changing something right now? I just don't think the results are.
I don't think he's not. But if you look at what he said it took him time to accept the fact that he had to go to Butch Harmon. The
swings just so different though. That's the thing.
Someone else, right? Like he's stubborn to the point where it takes time to acknowledge when he needs a significant change. I honestly think right now he thinks that hitting putts on the putting green over and over until it works that night is changing things. I think that might be what he's doing.
That's fair. I
disagree with that.
I don't think you can compare it to the swing either because the swing.
I don't think you can.
So much bigger.
I guess my point about the swing was I think like change with Spieth always leads to like question marks, and it leads to where are we going with this?
Well, I mean, it'd be nice to hear the media not question his practice swing that's been working for this year, and rather question the putting routine where he's thrown away multiple tournaments this year.
Well, I mean, do we want to talk about aim point?
No.
Do we think that's an issue?
But is he
I
even
don't
doing
really?
it?
I haven't even seen Michael doing it much as of late.
Has he been doing it? I don't think so.
No.
I bet if he actually like, I don't even know.
I
about
feel like
that.
aim point's so
Honestly,
much more technical, and he likes the more feel aspect. So I just haven't seen Michael doing it as much,
Yeah.
which is
And I think-
fine.
Like at this point, there's something wrong in the dome, and there's something wrong with the stroke inside of 10 feet. And together, that's just an awful match.
Yeah,
And I agree that change is necessary, but I disagree that you think he's not making changes right now. I just think they're subtle enough that we won't notice.
Yeah, it's just like
Because
in my
the
opinion,
results are the same.
we're not
So
Cam either.
You're not
Like, we don't
seeing any
know.
change.
yeah, we're just people that. The reason why people listen to us is because we watch a lot of Jordan Spieth golf, right?
Yeah.
But
Totally.
that's also while not knowing anything about what's actually happening. This is all like suggestive and
Right.
predictive.
And I think my thing is that it seems like you want to see, like actually see a change.
I don't
When in
care. I just want to see him go
reality-
in.
When in reality, you just want to see actual results. Like I think the changes are being made. They're just not like you cannot visually see them unless you watch.
I just think the
unless
problem
you're talking with
is
Cam.
I think the
because-
problem is he's been decelerating on putts all year,
Right.
and that hasn't changed. Decelerating on
but
putts
that's-
is like picking your head up on the tee. It's like a fundamental thing that you can't do if you want to make putts.
Right. But would you say do you think the claw grip's going to make him not decelerate?
The claw grip was a suggestion, just like I just want to see that he is.
Do you want to see that he's making putts?
I want to see that he. This is you want to know. Here's the. I do not know if he's acknowledged the change is needed.
Okay.
That's what I'm scared about.
Okay,
I don't know.
I think
Maybe he's
disagree
doing
with
what you're doing and he's making subtle changes that
I
we don't
disagree
know.
with that.
I don't know if he's acknowledged it yet. I think
Like,
he just
I
thinks
think-
that he's in a rut, right? Like
I think he's
in a
100% acknowledged it.
Yeah, he said it in his interview. He's like, I'm not.
He's
gonna
acknowledged
tell
he's
you-
putting bad. I don't think he's acknowledged the changes needed yet.
He said, I'm not going to tell you what changes I'm making,
That is true.
which is also not a great answer because it could mean I'm just hitting more putts. But in
Yeah.
theory, that means that there are changes being made.
It'd be nice to know what he is doing. I'm like, it's kind of
And-
curious why
Well,
he
'cause-
didn't.
but I
tell
think
us,
I think he knows that if he says what he's doing, people are going to be like, that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, this
It's
is
like the
much more
practice run.
It'll just
frustrating.
add to like
This
what
is-
Bob's saying.
I got this question, and I think we need to debate this because I think this is very interesting. What is more frustrating for you as a fan? This state right now where he cannot make a putt from 5 feet, or the state where he would blast one out of bounds once around?
Last one out of bounds, without a doubt.
I think this one is more frustrating. Personally.
Well, I think this one's more frustrating only because the expectations are higher, right? Because we expect him to be able to win. Back then, when he was hitting stuff OB, it's like, all right, well, he's not playing that good anyway, so he's not going to win anyway. But now it's like, if he makes 5-footers, he's in contention a lot. So I think it's more, the OB is a lot more, God, they both happen at a very similar rate though, when you compare the years that they did happen. But I would say this is more frustrating considering that it means more for his leaderboard status,
Yeah.
whereas OB felt like at best he's getting a top 30 and now he's getting a T42, right? If that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
I mean, the way I look at it is it's pretty simple. When he was blasting him out of bounds, he was missing cuts on the week, and he has been missing a lot of cuts as of late.
Yeah.
But we were 70th in the world and falling, and right now
Yeah.
we're 20th in the world.
Well,
I mean, I have confidence it's not going to be like this until the summer, just because I guarantee you, Bob, he will change something if this continues to go on. That'll be very noticeable.
Yeah.
There's no chance he's going to continue to let this happen on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah. It's just annoying, right? Like, it's just like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why our debate is so like,
but it's annoying for him.
Yeah.
oh, for sure. Like, it's way
Like,
more.
this isn't a
annoying for
knock
than it
on
is
him.
for
Like,
us,
he's just as angry. He's more angry.
for sure.
Um,
I think it's an interesting, because I hadn't really thought about it the way you were thinking about it, and I agree.
Yeah.
Like, you made some good points. So because the stubborn point is a great, like, he is very stubborn
yeah.
about his game, which is he's just
It's a bad thing. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's
it's
not
very interesting.
life ending,
No,
but
no.
he did say that his inability to acknowledge during the slump that he needed other sets of eyes and his
Right.
stubbornness during the slump killed him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he didn't believe that Cam told him to strengthen the wrist, and he's like, no, I'm not going to. That's basically how it went down. So I don't know. It's an interesting debate, but I think bottom line is, like, everybody in the Spieth camp just wants to see putts go in the hole from inside of 6 feet.
I mean,
You know,
this brings me to my next point, which is basically probably the point of next pod, but like, I'm curious why he's playing this week. I'm curious what he wants to get out of it. I'm curious what his goal is for this week.
yeah,
Because I don't think his goal I don't think when he committed because, well, here's another chance to win, right? Like, I think he committed because he had something set in mind that he wants to work on, fix, change, do, finish. He had something in his mind, because if he had won the Masters this week or won the match play the other week, I don't think he would have committed.
yeah, no, he's not.
So what is that reason, do you think? Because I don't think the putts are going to fall. I think it would be stupid to think that the putts are going to magically fall. I think that it's a long-term fix. I don't know why he's here. Why does he want?
He skipped API, so filling it in with
Maybe he's just trying to rack up some facts, couple points, because
I don't think so. I think this is a much less stressful week at Hilton Head than it was at API. And I think, I mean, going into the Masters with API before the Masters that week takes a large toll on you mentally. I mean, he missed the cut, didn't play it this year, but you know, I have, it's a very good question, Bob, because like, I feel like RBC is always that, like, one of those 50-50 events. Does he play or does he not?
I mean, he plays it just about 50% of the time.
So, I mean, again, I'm hoping that maybe we'll hear from him before he tees it up this week to hear like, why'd you decide to come back and stuff like that? Because it is a great question. His history here is very
bad,
up and down. He's got 3 top 15s, then 2 top 55s or worse.
Wow. I didn't realize he had the 3 top 15s. Were those all from like
13, 14, 15?
Okay, that makes sense then.
19 T54, 20 T68. So I mean, he hasn't played well here in 7 years.
Well,
but
I think part of it, because he committed like right after he emceed at the Masters.
he actually committed Thursday.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Then I guess part of it then is because initially I was thinking, well, he just wants to get out of town because he can't fathom missing the cut at Augusta. But now I'm thinking he just wants to play more, and now he only has a 3-week break in between starts instead of a 4-week break, and he doesn't have to.
Which is what concerns me about going back to the whole putter thing about him not making changes. It concerns me that he is just like, well, they'll fall this week, right? Like, that's what I'm a little concerned. I'm concerned that he's playing this week because he feels like they've got to fall sooner or later. I don't think that's it, but
I think Dan's kind of spot on. I just think with how the schedule worked out, I think he was always going to play this week would be my guess, and he just didn't play until Thursday.
That's a very valid concern though, Bob, because I think like you can certainly make the case
he might be playing this week out of frustration.
Yeah, but
that
if he
he-
committed Thursday though, that tells me that he was just going to play anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he could have
Regardless.
known
Unless
back
he
in
won the
January he was
Masters.
going to play. He's been
Right.
committing late to tournaments this year
He always
for
Yeah.
whatever the reason
And-
is.
And I will say, when he plays the week after a missed cut, at least recently, it's been pretty good. He missed the cut at Phoenix and then should have won at Pebble. And then not Phoenix, Torrey. And then the last time he missed the cut at Torrey, he played the week after and kicked, Phoenix, Pebble, that run. But then when he played at the Players and MC'd, he didn't play the week after.
So here's my last thought about the putter, which it tests your point, is that Pebble. One thing we do know
So
about
weird.
putter, what?
Pebble in general, that's by far the best he's played all year. And it's just
So yeah,
it's a
but
one
that's
week
the thing. He made putts that week on one of the days.
he made
Well, the
putts.
weekend he did.
A putter
Yeah.
is streaky.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be a streaky putter player, like at all. Like I don't want him to be someone who putts like that once, twice a year, wins once. Like that's how you become Keegan Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he'll win like that, but
Right.
not what
I think-
he doesn't want to win once every 2 years.
I think you want to be
with 16 PJ Tour wins and 3 majors. Like that's
Yeah,
not what he wants.
I think you want to be streaky from outside of 15 feet,
Yeah,
but then you want to be solid from inside of 10.
yeah, which is
'Cause that's how you
Well
win
said.
a lot.
exactly. Yeah.
And
So-
I think right now he's just streaky from well,
Yeah.
not even streaky. He's just down. Like he can't make anything from inside of 10 feet.
And that's what I was hoping for this week. I was hoping that he was streaky with the putter and we could
Yeah.
pull a contention out of
Would
our
be nice.
behind, but we
Yeah.
didn't. So
And then he just got frustrated too. I mean, you
Yeah.
probably saw the video on 12 after he hit another wedge in the water and made 6.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
I think
well, at that point he knew he was out of it.
No,
I think.
well, I mean, for making the cut though, I thought 13 was really
that
bad.
was awful.
He hit it in the straw and then he went for the green and he blocked it like 20 yards right at target and found the creek again.
Yeah.
I mean, he put 4 balls in the creek in 2 days.
He played 13 at even. That's
I
just
mean,
like,
it's actually insane that he still nearly made the cut with like how many balls he put in the creek, how many putts he missed within 5 feet. I mean, that doesn't make this week any better. He missed the cut,
Yeah.
which is horrible. But I mean, 13 was bad. I mean, and
just
I look, Jordan has not played well, but I do want to call out Michael Greller. We love Michael Greller, but there were a few things this week I think he could have done better. I mean, 13, I don't know why you're giving Jordan that club unless Jordan just said, I'm hitting it and you're not taking it from me. Because he should have laid up on 13 and tried to make birdie the hard way. He forced it and then made
Yeah.
par, which was really impressive.
Yeah.
But
well,
I mean, I want to hear your guys' takes on 12 when he put it in the water the first time. Is that on Michael
yeah.
or Jordan?
that's
So here's the thing. I hate blaming caddies because you're the one hitting the golf shot, right?
Agreed.
I know that thing happened with Shane Lowry. Like, I don't even think that's a big deal, right? Like emotions get the best of you, right? Like when Jordan did that thing at the US Open in 2019, like, sure, you can say that just me being biased, but I'm not particularly a Shane Lowry fan. I don't bust him for that at all. Like sometimes you just like get frustrated and you're looking for someone to blame beside yourself, even though you're still blaming yourself inside, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that big a deal, but caddies do mess up and they should be held responsible. I don't think they should be held responsible publicly. Like it's a bad look, but
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you.
I definitely am concerned at the fact that I just don't know why your miss is short.
Agreed. That's exactly. And the thing with that shot, unlike the second one they put in the water, which was 100% his fault,
yeah.
the first one was online and it came up way short. I mean, because the play on that hole is always over the front
Bunker.
bunker.
Yeah.
And he immediately said after he hit it, that's why I didn't want to hit this shot. So, I mean,
But yeah, I mean,
I-
that's an interesting comment, but he also then just hit the shot anyway. Like if you don't feel comfortable,
well, he trusted Michael. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
right? I think they're trying to force stuff, and they're not on the
13,
same
yeah, was a
page.
perfect example.
I think that's what happened. I think he was trying to force a birdie at 12. Like, I think he was trying to force, like, when it's swirling up there on 12, you need to make sure that your miss is that back bunker and take your 4. If
Well,
like that's just a hole where it's that hard. Like, it's 150 yards, but if you hit it on the green, great. But you can't be trying to hit that. You need to make sure your miss is that back bunker.
Right.
Like, if it gusts, great. You're 25 feet from the pin.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, like, you take your back bunker with Jordan's bunker play, you try and make a 3, but you take 4 if you have to, and you move on.
And I think
Like, you have to eliminate
Short.
if you play amen corner throughout the week with no doubles, you are golden.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
you're trying to play
golden.
11 and 12. I mean, especially 11
If
now.
you
'cause
try
11
and play
was the
11
proof
and
this week.
if you try and play 11 and 12 and 3-4 over for the week, like, that's not going to kill you whatsoever.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, with how 11's playing.
I
now.
mean, you need to kind of get it back on 13. Like, you need to play 13 and 2 or 3 under, but
no, if you play amen corner and like even for the week, I mean, you're doing well.
yeah. Like, you can't, like, 11 and 12 are holes where, and Jordan did a very good job on 11, I thought, this week,
Yeah.
which is where he didn't, like, he made sure his miss was right and he took his 5 if he had to. Like,
Right. Yeah, I think
that's what
went
you have to do
12.
on those holes.
Yeah.
He didn't do that on 12.
Yeah, 12 was bad.
Where did he go the first day?
I think he was green, but it was
He
like
found the
30
green,
feet left. That was
which
fine.
is fine.
Yeah.
Anywhere on the surface for 4 days is fine.
Yeah. I think it goes to, one, they're not really on the same page, but then 2, there's this confidence of I've got every shot in the bag, sort of. So that's why you play that cut 8
Yeah.
on 12 and you play that draw hybrid from the straw on 13.
I think Jordan's just impatient right now.
Yeah.
And I get it because he's striking it.
forcing a
I
lot.
mean,
Right.
well.
That hybrid on 13 out of the straw. Honestly, he's done it before, so I don't mind it too much. But like, that's I'm trying to get this all back instead of just let me hit something 50, 60 yards short and pitch it up there and give myself 10 feet for birdie.
It was a desperation play.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I guess it is a show of faith in the short game because he did get it up and down both times. But let the short game attack a little bit. Like, let the short game get you some birdies. But it also, the putter's so bad that it's hard. Like, if you pitch it to 4 feet, you should be expecting birdie, and he a lot of the time doesn't make birdie. So it's like, well, then let me try and get it myself an eagle putt, or then I can scare the hole and then tap in a 2-footer. Well, maybe 1-footer.
The short game was good this week, which
Yeah, it was solid. It was good enough to like win.
he gained 3 shots with the short game in 2 days.
Yeah, he did his normal short game thing, and he made a couple long putts, and I'm like, well, this, in theory, and he drove it pretty well. He had a couple decent approaches, but 12 was brutal. 18 was awful too.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like, let me just get to Hilton Head, I guess.
No, yeah, but I mean, he only needed par on 18, and he found that bunker. And
yeah,
I was actually talking to a friend of mine after he missed the cut, and I disagreed with him, but he was like, why don't you just hit 3-wood on 18 so you can at least, make sure that you can reach the green with your second.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like, I disagree with him too, because I'm like, he's been driving it well. But it was an interesting comment.
DM, sort of the same thing, where he was asking, why didn't Jordan just play for 4 on 18? Because you don't play to make the cut.
And not to mention, if you hit 3-wood, you're gonna have 210 in.
I mean,
well, he was trying to birdie that hole.
You don't play to make the cut at the Masters. You play to win.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think he knew it was going to be different.
Like, if Jordan was given the opportunity to win 10% of the Masters that he had left, but he miscut the other 90%, like, that's 2 more Masters wins. Like,
3.
That's 3.
I'll play to 58.
All right, fair enough. But like,
That'd be
You
sick.
take that. Like you don't play to not miss the cut. You play to
Yeah.
win.
You play to win.
So I'm fine with how he played 18. He just didn't hit good shots. So this is what it is.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty
I feel
well
like the
said.
blow up holes are coming though. I feel like we've seen a couple of those recently where it's just like a double bogey from there, you know? Just some of those like
Yeah.
I don't know. Hasn't been a great couple weeks. I mean, we talked about it before, kind of the 3 week stretch that we only thought it was gonna be 3 weeks. I think you brought it up, like he only needs 37 OWGR points to stay at 15 or whatever. And he's or 13 or something, and he's now down to 20. So it's been going
Yeah.
backwards.
That's what it is.
But
A lot of
hopefully it
season
can-
left.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think this is a wake up call though.
Oh,
for
100%.
If it's
100%.
not, I'm not going to say that because it has to be.
It is. He looked
And it's
emotionally like
100%.
sad.
is.
He looked sad on 18 on Friday.
What was I going to say? Bobby tweeted about.
Well, we saw when he almost missed the
Fifteen
cut last
too.
time with the Masters. So
That was so different with like the fall. Like
it was,
I mean,
but
this
like
was Sammy's first.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure
He
that
looked
really
sad.
yeah.
Which is
Sammy's
good.
got
I
to be
mean,
thinking his
well,
dad
not
just
good,
sucks at the Masters. Like God.
No, but
this guy.
he needs a fire under him.
Yeah, he
And
does.
like this
Also-
is hopefully provides it.
Also, I know Bobby tweeted about him gaining distance. And some of the comments I thought were interesting, but like I think he's gained that distance and he's still hitting it pretty good off the tee.
like it's the PTSD of like remember what happened the last time he tried to gain distance,
exactly.
but like
I think that's also what the new swing
it
thing
is what it is.
is he's
like,
getting more turn into the hip,
Yeah.
so he can hit it harder.
Full.
And
I feel like
that's
so.
very
Yeah.
beneficial for Southern Hills.
very.
The ultimate optimist.
He said he'll be taking a trip there too before
Well, he
the
better be.
PGA.
But it's just like it's night and day what happens when he putts well versus doesn't putt well to major. Like
Facts.
I feel it's most players though. To be fair, Bob.
Yeah, but
it
Spieth
is, but that
extremely
doesn't make it
better.
any less true.
No, it doesn't, especially for an all-time great.
Spieth-
I mean, he
Putting
putted
greens are-
well. I mean, he
are
hit the ball
weird.
relatively the same at the Open and Kiowa. I'd say he hit the ball well at Kiowa. I don't think he didn't hit the ball well,
Yeah,
but-
No, he just could not putt at Kiowa.
but he missed every 3-footer at Kiowa and he made putts at the Open.
yeah. But I mean, the Open, like you could even argue that the two short ones on.
Well, yeah, but that's not like
yeah.
he
that's
just had
fair.
it stolen like he had the 15 PGA stolen. I mean, like he played so good.
there's another thing though about like fescue greens are weird. Like
Yeah,
there's no excuse to miss a 3-footer on perfect greens like Augusta. But like fescue greens, I mean, if you miss 1-footer, like that's like Jordan's got his entire focus on that at the Open. Like that's probably just like a mishap, like just hit the wrong side of a blade, but doesn't make it any less momentum derailing. Like it still kills you, but
yeah. I mean, he made back-to-back birdies at Valero on Sunday, but I was thinking like before that, like it had been a minute since he had actually put together, like it since Genesis round 1, since he had actually put together any kind of like make a bunch of birdies in a row,
yeah.
Got a birdie a par 5 to do that.
which for Spieth is like unheard of because that's kind of what he does. Is just make a shit ton of birdies in a row and then
Well,
see what
when
happens.
you play 13 and even in 2 rounds and you play 8 and 1 over, I mean, you're just. And then I know he birdied 2 twice, but you're just. I mean, 1's brutally hard,
Yeah.
and 3 I think played harder this year than it usually does. So,
Yeah. What do you think of 15?
well, he couldn't reach day 2.
Well, just in general, the hole in general.
It didn't seem that much different. There was actually I shouldn't say that because there wasn't an eagle this year for the first time
Yeah.
in I think I
I
read like
kind
50
of-
years.
I think part of that was just kind of the weather. Like
Yeah.
it was straight into the wind.
For sure.
But I think I kind of would rather have it be more reachable than it was this week.
Yeah. I think more people
You know-
going for the green brings the creek more and play short or the pond.
And even the creek long because people just will hit it over.
I don't think anyone got there that at least that we saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree
Right,
with that.
exactly. So I because that wedge shot, like you're just gonna make a lot of 5s. And I guess it rewards a good 4. which is cool. Which is cool to see par fives do that. But I feel like kind of the fun of the back nine of Augusta is you can make a pretty good score coming in.
Yeah, I think it's also they can't control the wind. I'm sure Augusta National probably would have liked to see more people go for it, but if it's into the wind, I mean, there's just nothing you can do about that. Guys are gonna lay up.
That's true.
Yeah, just
Cool.
disappointing week for us. But and here's the thing, like I know we're talking about why is he playing Hilton Head. I'm happy he's playing because I just could not have the taste of a miscut at the Masters in my mouth for a month straight.
Yeah, that would be rough.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And who knows? Maybe he wins next week by 12 and we're he's not winning next week. He's not even.
No, I'll say it because if I'm wrong, I'll happily be proven wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
Bob,
Go
what are you
ahead.
giving away if he wins next week?
What am I giving away if he wins next week? If he wins next week, hold on one second. I need to make sure
I don't know,
this
he
isn't
could-
too
he
on.
The wedges get hot. Like we'll talk about it more.
If he wins
but-
next week, I'll give away a Scottie.
Oh wow.
Scottie,
Yeah,
like a Scottie Cameron.
yeah. They're
Oh.
like 250. It's not
Jeez.
devastating.
Mm.
That'd be
I
cool.
mean, Spieth win is well worth 250.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, the
um,
low-key, the field's pretty good next week.
It is
There's a lot of dudes there.
5
Yeah.
of the top 10 in the world,
So
and the return of Ricky Fowler.
yeah.
Ricky
About-
Fowler versus the cut.
Yes, sir.
Fowler.
I think we have one more thing before we wrap it up, Bob.
What do we have?
Thrive Fantasy.
Oh, yes. Well, the giveaway winner or
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
yeah, so we thought we were going to be doing a live like episode tonight because he thought he was going to make the cut, right? But he didn't. So we drew the winner earlier. And yeah, the winner, the username was Big JW. So congrats to him. I'll congratulate him on Twitter in 1 second. On the go get that. But Spieth didn't play Sunday, so I'm just gonna say he can pick whatever set of scripting he wants. It doesn't matter. It's the same price for everything. Rough week. Rough
Thanks
week.
to Thrive Fantasy again, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
you guys can keep signing up. It would mean a lot to us.
We'll
We
have
get,
some other stuff with the other.
yeah, we'll
majors
do
coming
some
up.
more. Absolutely. And if you enter now, you'll automatically be entered into the next one. We'll just do and from now on until our next giveaway, we'll enter you into that. So yeah.
Use
Yeah.
promo code
Thrive
GGT,
Fantasy code GGT.
double your deposit.
Link in the bio
Deposit.
below if
Link-
you're watching on
link-
YouTube.
Work your
link
way
in
up the
bio if you're
leaderboard,
watching on
unlike
YouTube.
Spieth, and see where you end up.
Yeah,
It's fun.
That's
it
what we
is.
got.
Yeah, I've seen
fun.
some people DM me. They're like, yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's good. We enjoy partnering with them. So yeah,
Oh, we'll be back for the RBC.
we will.
We
Basically,
will.
it will be pretty repetitive. That'll be a pretty short episode, but
True.
it was fun. Thank you guys for joining me live. That was pretty successful on Wednesday. That was pretty cool. I mean, I know we expected so much more, but
Yeah.
it is what it
The
is.
lives are fun.
It is
Yeah,
what it
hopefully
is.
we've got enough blood for next
Move
week.
on. Okay, you're bleeding out over there, Dan.
Yeah, I am bleeding quite a bit. If anybody wants to donate, let me know
Don't-
on Twitter.
Donate blood.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Take care, y'all.
All right, peace.
Peace.